Hello, this is my video on how I make mirror images using Lightroom and Photoshop. I start in Lightroom because that's where I do all my cataloging, I do my savings, and I do my exporting. You can do that all in Photoshop, but personally I find it easier to use both programs. So I'm going to use, and if we just click here, hit full, this is our base image. This is a tree that I captured in Valley View Park in Kamloops, British Columbia, Canada. And it's a nice twisted tree. I captured it in RAW because I shoot in RAW, and my camera system is a Nikon, but it does not matter what camera system you use. If you can capture in RAW, you can get a much better final product doing mirror images than you can if you use JPEG or anything else. If you don't know a lot about how the file systems are, there's 3 different videos in the description box below. And the first one is by Piximperfect. He has when you watch the video, he also has a link that you can download and print out a in-depth flowchart that shows you all of the different saving options inside of Photoshop, and it also is great for understanding everything going on with how things are saved in the different formats. I'd also suggest that there's 2 videos by Scott Walker from his channel Walks on the Wild Side. They're both in the description box below, and he gives 2 videos. The first one is on RAW and the second one is on other file types. Again, well presented and very informative. So let's go into Photoshop. So if we go full, click on the image, right click, show edit in, open as a smart object in Photoshop. And when we get into this full, you'll understand why we do a smart object. So here we are in Photoshop, and in the layers panel on the right hand side here, you see that little symbol. It looks like 2 boxes that are tied together. That's a smart object symbol. Double click it, and you have to click on the symbol, not just on the whole image. For our edits, we're just going to hit auto, and it increased the exposure just a touch, blacks down a bit, contrast up just a bit more, because we can. Now, you can do lots of different adjustments in here, but for basic, that's all we're going to do for now. Next big step for doing a mirror image is to go into the crop tool. So on this image, looking at it, I think I'd like to have a nice straight tree to play with. Just because I like a nice straight tree. There it is, straight. We'll bring our bottom up a little bit, our top down just a touch. Now which side do we want to use as our center line? Well, because it's a smart object, let's just go there. And we'll keep that bush in there. Hit enter, and it's accepted. There's our cropped image. Now, hit enter again, and it'll bring it out to Photoshop. As you can see, there's transparency around it. Image, trim. We're going to trim off the transparent pixels. Hit OK. Hold spacebar down, move it over, and make it a little larger. Next big step in mirror images is the canvas size. Control-Alt-C. Bring up your canvas size box, dialog box. It's currently setting at inches. We want to change it to %. And we want to increase our canvas size our canvas width, that is, by 100%. And we said we were going to have our split on the right hand side of the image. So if we take and click here, that will put our image as it sits right now on the left hand side, and the extension will be on the right hand side. Hit OK, and there it is. So as you can see on the layers panel, it's there. The next step is to make a copy. Control J, and you see how it takes the name and says copy. So we pick our move tool and hold the shift key down and drag with our mouse to bring it over. Try and basically line it up. You can use the arrow key to move it back and forth at this point. So you can see that we've still got the copy picked. Control T for transform. Right click, flip horizontal. Enter. There's our mirror image. We've got all kinds of fun things happening there. Now, one of the things you want to do with your mirror image before you get too far into it is to zoom in. Now you can see in the center here that we've got overlap. And since we've still got our copy picked, and we've still got our move picked, and we're zoomed in, and this is why I like to do this at 600 dpi, is you have latitude to move your image around. Now we come back by, as soon as you see the transparency, go back one step. Now we have, you can see right here, a sharp point. Everything is lined up. Control 0. Now, there's our basic image. And we'll just do one edit here. We'll open up the fill adjustment, add a invert layer, and let's look at our blending modes. If we step down, down, let's see what we got here. Each blending mode does different things. Subtract, divide, hue. We'll just stick with linear for now. Now, if you were happy with that image, whether it's a good image, a bad image, an indifferent image, it all depends on your personal taste and what you feel you've got there. So as a basic nice little image, it's pretty decent. So now we want to save it. We don't want to merge anything. We don't want to do anything else. We just want to save it. So Control Shift S, save as. We want to save this because we're going to come back and work on it again later. We're going to save it as a large document format, PSB. And I had one here earlier I was working on, so I'll call this one Tree 2. Very creative name. Save. And we're ready to go back into Lightroom, export it out to the world. You can add your signature to it and all of the other adjustments. So there is the bare bones basic way of doing a mirror image using Lightroom for sorting and cataloging, Photoshop for doing all of the editing, and then back to Lightroom to do the exporting. Like I say, if you want to go to Piximperfect and to Scott Walker to listen to their videos on different types of formats for Photoshop, Lightroom, and format and the different file types. They're both very informative. So thank you very much, and hopefully I can get the other videos out in the next week or so, and we'll go into more detail on editing. Thank you very much.